Hey guys, we're here the night before the 500, and we're here to watch the Indy Pro Series and the USAC Silver Crown race. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we can get into while we go interview some drivers and see what trouble we can get into. Let's go!
It's time for another On the Spot. On the Spot.
So before we work up to racing, I was reading you participate in your high school plays. Was it just Hamlet, or were you into theater all throughout school?
I actually did my high school play just the 1 year that I was in that class. I only did Hamlet, and it was for a grade. It was either that or write a really long essay, and I was not about to write a long essay. So I decided to memorize the Hamlet part, and it was actually really fun. I really enjoyed it.
For younger families thinking of getting your kids into racing, can you explain a little about your personal experience getting started? How did your journey start, and how much support did it take to get you this far?
Well, first off, my parents were big Corvette fans, thus the name Sting Ray. They had to name me after their favorite car, and so I was actually really involved in Corvette clubs in our area growing up, and I think that's where my racing interest came from. I got my first go-kart when I was 5, and my dad and my grandpa were my mechanics all the way through karting. So I worked my way up until I was about 13, and then I decided to make the jump into cars, and I started out with everything. I did a little bit of Canyon West NASCAR, I did some regional Formula car racing, and I did some actual European go-karts as well, along with some dirt track, and I did everything that there was. And so hopefully that's been the deciding factor in what my career has taken me into the Formula Car Series. And so for young drivers looking to make the next step up, I would say just drive as many things as you can. Seat time is a good time. So
After a few years in this series and now racing with Juncos and winning races, congratulations by the way, on Mid-Ohio last month, did you see yourself racing in Indy Lights if that series gets back on track in 2021?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think Indy Lights is the next step for us, and so next year I'm looking to make that jump to the next level, and then hopefully only there for a couple years and on to IndyCar. So by 2022, we'll hopefully see me at Indy 500.
What has been the most difficult part of it all so far? What have you already learned the hard way on the road to Indy that you wish you would have known sooner?
I think that the easiest thing to learn while participating on the road to Indy is that you're not always going to be the best. Consistency is key. And I think as a young driver, always you want to win. I mean, every driver does, of course, but I think that you got to salvage what you can sometimes. So being consistent is very important in the road to Indy.
I've always been curious how early driver starts training in the business aspects of racing. When do you start learning how to present yourself properly, what to say during post-race interviews and other things, learning how to work for sponsors?
I think in karting I got a lot of those skills, interviewing skills and those things that are required to represent your team and sponsors off track. And I think that just is part of the growing up in the different series. I think that it was very valuable for me to go experience the NASCAR series along with dirt track and everything else, because the NASCAR, they do a very good job with their drivers on representing their sponsors. And so for me, that was very important. And I think that I got a lot of practice because I was spending a lot of time at different races.
If you had to choose between winning an IndyCar championship or winning the Indy 500 as your driving legacy, which would be a bigger accomplishment for you personally?
Well, I think that everyone knows this by now, but the Indy 500 is all about luck. I mean, obviously you have to put in the work, be prepared to win. But Alexander Rossi in 2016, for example, he just had the most unfortunate events, but he kind of got lucky in the sense that he found a way to stretch that fuel mileage that little extra bit and not have to make that final stop where other drivers had to. So I think in an Indy 500 it would mean a lot to me. It would show that, you know, we did our part preparing, but you got to have a little bit of luck too. So I don't know, comparing the two, I think I'd prefer to win the Indy championship just because it shows that I was consistently the best driver.
Who are your current racing influences? Who is that you just can't wait to race wheel to one day?
Well, I'm a huge fan of Alexander Rossi just because I've gotten to talk to him a few times, and you know, I think there's a lot of drivers in the IndyCar series now that we can all look up to as road to Indy drivers. Scott Dixon, Simon Pagenaud, Joseph Newgarden, Alexander Rossi. I mean, all those guys are people that I look up to. They're all great drivers. They're great people on and off the racetrack, so I don't think you can go wrong with any of those top guys.
How important is this race, in particular this year?
I think that the oval races are very different than you'd see at a road course, and so all those guys that you mentioned earlier, they're obviously good drivers, and I think those are skills that are important. Being an IndyCar driver is to develop on the ovals, and I think the most important thing is when you're running at races like this, that you learn. Every time that you're on track, you're learning something new.
Hey guys! Well, welcome to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I had a lot of fun. It was so crazy to see the cars out here. It's beautiful, actually. So make sure you follow me on all my social medias. You know the drill, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!